Rawdon's Roof. Rawdon was the sort of man who said privately to his men friends over a glass of wine after dinner, "No woman shall sleep again under my roof." He said it with pride, rather vaunting, pursing his lips. "Even my housekeeper goes home to sleep." But the housekeeper was a gentle old thing of about 60, so it seemed a little fantastic. Moreover, the man had a wife, of whom he was secretly rather proud, as a piece of fine property, and with whom he kept up a very witty correspondence, epistolary, and whom he treated with humorous gallantry when they occasionally met for half an hour. Also, he had a love affair going on. At least, if it wasn't a love affair, what was it? However, "No, I've come to the determination that no woman shall ever sleep under my roof again, not even a female cat." One looked at the roof and wondered what it had done amiss. Besides, it wasn't his roof. He only rented the house. What does a man mean, anyhow, when he says, "my roof"? My roof. The only roof I am conscious of having myself is the top of my head. However, he hardly can have meant that no woman should sleep under the elegant dome of his skull, though there's no telling. You see the top of a sleek head through a window, and you say, "By Jove, what a pretty girl's head." And after all, when the individual comes out, it's in trousers. The point, however, is that Rawdon said so emphatically. No, not emphatically, succinctly. "No woman shall ever again sleep under my roof." It was a case of futurity. No doubt he had had his ceilings whitewashed and their memories put out, or rather repainted, for it was a handsome wooden ceiling. Anyhow, if ceilings have eyes, as walls have ears, then Rawdon had given his ceilings a new outlook, with a new coat of paint, and all memory of any woman's having slept under them, for after all, in decent circumstances we sleep under ceilings, not under roofs, was wiped out forever. "And will you neither sleep under any woman's roof?" That pulled him up rather short. He was not prepared to sauce his gander as he'd sauced his goose. Even I could see the thought flitting through his mind that some of his pleasantest holidays depended on the charm of his hostess. Even some of the nicest hotels were run by women. Well, that's not quite the same thing, you know. When one leaves one's own house, one gives up the keys of circumstance, so to speak. But as far as possible, I make it a rule not to sleep under a roof that is openly and obviously and obtrusively a woman's roof." "Quite," I said with a shudder. "So do I." Now I understood his mysterious love affair less than ever. He was never known to speak of this love affair. He didn't even write about it to his wife. The lady, for she was a lady, lived only 5 minutes' walk from Rawdon. She had a husband, but he was in diplomatic service or something like that, which kept him occupied in the sufficiently far distance. Yes, far enough. And as a husband he was a complete diplomat, a balance of power. If he was entitled to occupy the wide field of the world, she, the other and contrasting power, might concentrate and consolidate her position at home. She was a charming woman too, and even a beautiful woman. She had 2 charming children, long-legged, stalky, clove-pink, half-opened sort of children, but really charming. And she was a woman with a certain mystery. She never talked. She never said anything about herself. Perhaps she suffered. Perhaps she was frightfully happy, and made that her cause for silence. Perhaps she was wise enough even to be beautifully silent about her happiness. Certainly she never mentioned her sufferings, or even her trials,